Hi guys, welcome back for episode number 23. I did get to play a number of games, so I'm super excited to talk about them. So yes, so that was good. It is super cold today, so my heat is on and it might come on while I'm shooting this video, so I do apologize for the very loud noise that my heat makes. Okay, so the first game I'm going to talk about is The Road to Canterbury. So this is a 2011 game. This is designed by Alf Siegert and the artist is Hieronymus Bosch and Pixel Productions Incorporated, and the publisher is Eagle Gryphon Games. So this is for 2 to 3 players, which is very interesting. I hardly ever see games that are just for 2 to 3 players. So yeah, so I think this is a reprint actually. I think that they changed a couple of things. I was actually on the forums last night doing a bit of reading about this game and just, you know, checking out other people's experiences of it, and I think that they did a reprint, and so I think I have the second edition because the way that the second edition was described, I think I have that one. So there are a few minor rule changes from the original. So this game has a very interesting premise. So basically you are playing pardoners. I think that's what they're called. I mean, at least that's what it says here, pardoners. And so there's going to be pilgrims who are traveling along, I guess, and you are trying to make the pilgrims first commit sins, and then you are going to pardon them, and by pardoning them, you will get money, and whoever has the most money will, at the end of this game, will win. So you have this board, this sin board, and there's going to be pilgrims on 3 of the sides, and then on one side there is going to be this map, which you're kind of traveling along. And so there's only a couple of pilgrims, and so it's an area majority influence game actually, which is interesting. So let me just pull out the cards. So you are placing, there's going to be 3 pilgrims to start out with, randomly placed on these 3 different company boards, which will be on 3 sides of this board. And you will start your game with 5 sin cards in hand. And the sin cards basically have all the sins on them, and there are death approaches cards as well. So, you know, you've got your 7 basic deadly sins, and then there are some death approaches cards. Let me see if I can find one. Death approaches. So you'll have a market to choose from. So there will be 3 sin cards available, and then there will be 3 relic cards. No, not relic, sorry. 3 pardon cards available. And then there's the face down deck, which you can also draw from if you want when you're bringing your hand size back up to 5. And so basically you are trying to add sins below certain pilgrims, and then you want to pardon those sins with these fake certificates of pardon and get money. So the more sins you pardon, the more money you get, but you can only pardon one kind of sin underneath the pilgrim. So if I played a greed pardon card, all the greed underneath a certain pilgrim would be pardoned, and those cards would get turned upside down. And when you pardon a pilgrim, you get to place one of your influence cubes on that pilgrim. And then when that pilgrim dies, a pilgrim dies if there are 7 or more cards beneath that pilgrim on any turn, then that pilgrim will die, and you will get to see who has the most influence over that pilgrim, and then whoever has the most influence will get to advance on the road to Canterbury. And the first person who gets a cube here will get 2 coins, and then the next person will get 4. So, even if someone else had a cube here, if you then get the next cube, you don't put your cube here, you're going to put it here. So it actually kind of pays to wait, to try to strategically make it so that if you can pardon all of them and get the most influence on all of them before they die, then, you'll get all the points, the coins, but otherwise, the ones towards the end are worth more. And also, so when you're putting sin cards underneath pilgrims, you will place a cube in the section of which sin you just put down. So if I put down a lust sin card underneath the pilgrim, I would place 1 cube in the lust area. The first person to complete all 7 sins will get, I believe it was 20 points. And then the second person to do all of the 7 sins, I believe, will get 10. Let me just double check. Actually, these player aids will say that. So yeah, the first person to get the full circle of sin will get 20, the second player 10, the third player 5. So, you know, I do think that the jump between 20 and 10 is pretty big in terms of points, because I will discuss our points at the end and talk about, you know, some areas where I think that this game maybe could have improved upon. For pardons, you will get this number of coins depending on how many cards you are able to pardon when you pardon a pilgrim of their sins. So for 1 card, you will get 1 coin, for 2, 4 coins, for 3, 9 coins, and for 4, 16 coins. And then there are end game bonuses. Again, so whoever has the most cubes on the road to Canterbury will get 20, the next person will get 10, and the last person will get 5. And then whoever has the most cubes on each company, so that will be, so once a pilgrim dies, that pilgrim gets turned upside down, and then any cubes that were on that pilgrim remain on that pilgrim. And if you so whoever has the most cubes on any company will get 15 points, the next person will get 7, and the last person will get 3. And then if you were the person to kill off a pilgrim, you get a last right token. And these last right tokens allow you to take an extra turn. And the person, if you have any left over at the end of the game, they're worth 3 coins each. And you also have this parson dude who is like moving around on this board. So he starts off on a random sin. And I believe, if I remember correctly, when someone dies of a certain sin, because the pilgrims have like certain sins on them. So if that pilgrim dies, then the parson moves along 1 space. So if there's a pilgrim that has pride written on him and he dies, this will move up to wrath. Now there are relic cards. So when you take your turn, then you draw your hand size back up to 5. And there are also these relic cards, which are face down. These give you some special abilities. So it's interesting because we felt like they were quite unbalanced. So, you know, my opponents, so I played a 3-player game of this, and one of my opponents, he was able to really get some chaining going and get like a couple of turns out of 1 turn because of a relic card he had, while I had a relic card which I thought was just utterly useless. So one of the relic cards that I picked was announce a sin, and anyone who has pardon cards of that type must discard it. And then it would allow me to move the person to any sin I want. We did mess up in one thing. So we did not pay attention to that little symbol on some of these relic cards, which would allow you to move the parson to any sin that you want to. So that definitely could have helped in terms of, you know, killing off pilgrims, because if they're, I don't know, I think it could have helped in some ways, but we didn't pay, you know, we unfortunately didn't pay attention to that symbol up there. So that's the only thing we got wrong in our play of this game. So I'm trying to think of how that could actually really impact the game. So if you kill off a pilgrim of a certain type and it's on that sin, that it would move to the next one. I don't think it actually gets you any special points or anything. So I'm not sure how beneficial that is, or I don't know, there must be something. Then it might have to do with area influence cubes. I think it would come in handy in terms of your cubes and such. But yeah, this was a really fun game. It's got, you know, an interesting theme. I thought it was a super fun area control game with just a very unique premise, unlike any other area control game I've played. Our finishing scores were 111. The winner had 111, and then the next person had, which was me, 50, and then the next person had 44. So there is a huge discrepancy in scores. The person who won did feel that he ended up getting a lot of the really good relic cards, where he was able to take like multiple turns in one action. So I do think that that definitely helped him. But we all really enjoy this game, and we all definitely want to play it again, the 3 of us. And we think that with subsequent plays that you'll start to really understand, you know, the mind games that other people kind of play while playing this game. And it will just start to become way more competitive, we think. So, you know, we all really liked it, and we definitely want to play it again. So I am glad I got it. This was a review copy, by the way. So I had asked Eagle Griffin for this game because it just looked really cool. And I'd never played any games designed by this designer, Elf Siegert. So I really wanted to check it out, and I'm glad I got to. I think it's a really fun game. But yeah, so I don't know, have you guys played this game? Again, it's from 2011. There are some minor changes between the new edition and the previous edition, which you can read about on the forums if you are interested. So I think that was the gist of the game. So yeah, I think, oh gosh, I'm just dropping everything. So yeah, I think the next time we play, hopefully I'll see, you know, if not paying attention to that parson symbol on the cards would have a huge impact or not. I think, you know, I want to pay attention to that and see. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it again. Okay, so that was the first game. I think I discussed everything. So yeah, so the rounds go by pretty quickly, actually. Let me just make sure I did everything, talked about everything. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, okay, I think so. I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Cool. But yeah, let me just show you the inside of the screen. So you hide your money behind this. That's all you hide behind it. A lot of the, you know, in case of tiebreakers, the number of sin cards you have can serve as a tiebreaker. So the sin cards that you have will be available, like it'll show, you know, everyone can see how many sin cards you have. So we would like just hold the cards in our hand, but all the coins would go behind our player's screen. So yeah, so that was The Road to Canterbury, the Impoverished Pilgrims edition. Yeah, the artwork is really cool, by the way. I really like the artwork. Yeah, it's a really good quality game. I mean, the components and everything. I mean, it's Eagle Griffin, so of course it was going to be. So yeah, so that was the game I played yesterday. The next game I will talk about is Caper Europe, which I actually got in 2 plays of. So this is a 2-player game, which I had showed you guys when I received it, because I had sleeved all the cards and the cards did not fit into the insert. I actually went and unsleeved all of the cards. So let me just give the relevant information. So this is a 2-player game, 2021, designed by Unai Rubio, artist Josh Emmerich, and the publisher's Keymaster Games. So this is kind of like a tug of war game. So I actually went and unsleeved all the cards because the first play I had of this game, I had decided after the first play that I really didn't like it and that I would probably call it, but then I decided to give it one more shot. So the first time I played it, my opponent was the one who read the rules and then explained it to me, and then we played, and we had a huge discrepancy in points. So he scored 56 and I scored 25. Then the second time I played it with someone else, and I'm the one who explained the rules, and I won with 39 and my opponent had 20. So less of a difference, but still, you know, a pretty sizable difference. I think that this game really benefits the person who, you know, I think whoever understands the rules or explains it has a better understanding of it, and just by that can do better in this game. I think, you know, I would like to play it one more time at least with someone I've played it with before and see how we do. So you are going to have this board, and on either side of the board, people are going to place down their thieves, and on top of their thieves, you're going to place down gear cards, and you can have up to 3 thieves in one section on one location. So you're going to have location cards. So you are trying to win certain locations. Let me just show you an example. Okay, so here is an example of a location card. So this one says that if you win this location, you would get 5 points, and for each green gear card underneath that location, if you win it, you will score an additional point. And the way you are going to keep track of who is winning a location is you are going to have these caper tokens on each location. And so each location will start with a caper token in the center, and you are trying to pull it towards your end. So if it's on your side, once the game ends, you will win that location and score the location points for that side. And if you happen to get it all the way down here, then you'll score additional points. So you're going to be playing cards which allow you to do that. So there's going to be thief cards that allow you to do that. So for example, this one would allow you to get, if you play this card, would allow you to get 1 coin, move the caper towards your side 1 spot, and it would also allow you to get 1 point for each thief card you have in that location. So you could potentially get up to 3 points, and it will also allow you to collect a coin. Coins, which you'll need during the gear phase. So it's interesting, this board has this section, so you're going to have this like little mastermind token, and it will indicate which round of the game it is and who's going first in that round, and it'll tell you how many cards you need to draw by the number of pips on that little spot. So in the first round, you're going to be drawing 4 thief cards, and you're going to play a card and your opponent will play a card, and then you will switch hands, then play a card and switch hands again. When you have 1 card remaining, that card gets discarded. So yeah, and you're going to have a gear round, then another thief round, then another gear round, thief, gear, and then the game ends. So gear cards, a lot of them will cost a lot of money. Well, not a lot, but it's really hard to kind of get money in this game to play. So for example, to play this gear card on top of a thief, you're going to have to spend $3. It will allow you to take a stolen, like a goods token from that location, and you can get set collection points for goods at the end. So each location has a spot for 4 different goods. And yeah, and this one would also allow you to get 1 point for each green card you have in that location. There's some gear cards that don't cost any money, which will give you coins, which can be beneficial. There are burn cards. So this would cost $2 and allow you to burn the topmost card, gear card, in that same location from your opponent. And if that had an effect on it, like for example, suppose I burned, let me show you. Where did that card go? Suppose I burned this card. Suppose my opponent had played this card and he got 2 coins from it. If I burn this card, he has to put those 2 coins back. So yeah, so it's an interesting tug of war game. And again, the gear phases go in the same way as the thief phases, where you play a card, the other person plays a card, then you switch hands, play a card, and then when you're down to 1 card, you discard your hand. And then it comes with special different locations that you can mix in with the main decks. So there are 4 different locations. There is Rome, Paris, Madrid, and London. And each one comes with like special cards that you would mix into the deck. So like they have their own thief cards, their own gear cards, and different location cards that you might end up with. So yeah, so that's kind of fun. I do want to play it again. Like I said, the first time I played it, I lost really badly, but I don't think that that's why I didn't enjoy it. I think I didn't enjoy it because it just didn't seem as, intriguing to me. But I think with more plays, I think I might start to get a better handle on the strategy and see if there actually is a strategy that you could really employ. It can also come down to luck. Like, there were instances where my opponent, his hand would be, his gear cards would all require him to spend money, and he didn't have money. So so you can discard a gear card on your turn in order to collect a coin if you need to. So, so I do think it's a little bit down to luck, but it's not super luck dependent. But yeah, I mean, the artwork is fun and kind of like quirky. I do like the artwork, especially of the thieves. I think the artwork is fun. So, originally when I played it for the first time, I was like convinced I was going to cull it. Now I'm not so sure. I think I'll hang on to it for a little bit longer, get a couple more plays out of it, and then see how I feel about it. But the components are really nice. But yeah, I unsleeved it so that the cards could fit into the insert, and I also unsleeved it because I was convinced I was going to cull it, but now I'm not so sure. And you get a player aid, and so yeah, and the end game scoring, for your stolen goods, if you collect all 3 and you have a set of all 3, you'll get 9 points for a set of all 3, and you can score them more than once. So if you have 2 sets of 3, then you'll score 18 points. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, so if you like tug of war games, like, I've discussed a couple others before, like Royal Visit. If you enjoy those kinds of games, you might enjoy this one. So yeah, in that case, I would check it out if you want to. Yeah, maybe a bit more strategy than, something like Royal Visit. So yeah. So that was Caper. The next game I will talk about is Bristol 1350. So this game I had backed on Kickstarter. It is a 2021 game designed by Travis Hancock, and the artist is Holly Hancock and Sarah Keel, and it's published by Facade Games. I actually have their other 3 games. They all look like books. They're on my bookcase back there somewhere. I don't know if you can see them. So I have their other games, which are Salem, Some Year, Tortuga, Some Year, and then Deadwood, and there's a Some Year number after that too. So they're all kind of based on history. So this is the first of their games that I've actually played. The other ones have been on my shelf of shame for many years now. So in this game, I played a 3-player game of this. This game is for 1 to 9 players. Do not recommend a 3-player game of this. So you have this map. It's kind of like a social deduction game, and you're going to have these carts, which, you know, I got the like deluxe version, and these are really nice metal carts. So you're going to have these different metal carts, and you're going to have a character card, and you are trying to escape Bristol. You know, there's a plague, and you're trying to escape Bristol under certain conditions, and like the win condition can change depending on who's in the cart, who's left behind. So, you know, things can change continuously throughout the game. So that's interesting. So you're going to have some sickness cards, and you become infected with the plague if you have cards in your hand totaling more than 6, I believe. So like here, so you've got chills, and like there's coughing cards, and I think it's just chills and cough, probably. Oh, there's Bubos. I didn't see that card last night. That's worth a lot of points, 4 points. Yeah, headache. Okay, so there are some other ones as well. So in a 3-player game, there wasn't much going on, to be honest. It was not fun. We didn't enjoy it. Well, at least I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, so it's supposed to be kind of like a deduction game, kind of like hidden roles. So you have different character cards. We did not play with the special abilities. We just played like with the regular character. Basically, the character determines what your player color is. So you have these like little tokens, these little player pieces who are going to be in the carts, and you are trying to get out of the city. And if you manage, I think, I don't remember all the different conditions. So like if you escape the city and, you know, everyone who escaped the city with you is free of the plague, then you all win. However, if one of you is infected with the plague, then I think you all die. Like there's just different kinds of conditions. But yeah, you can fit up to 3 people in a cart. Throughout the game, you can knock people out of the cart. You can like elbow your way to the front. You can try to get into another cart. So yeah, I didn't get a full play experience of it at 3 players. I feel like there's a lot that we just really missed out on. So we want to try to play it at a higher player count. So it goes up to 9. You know, we speculate that the sweet spot is probably around 7. And of course, with an actual plague pandemic that we have, it's kind of hard to, get a 7-player game going. But I do agree that I don't think it would be worth it to play at a lower player count. I don't even understand how this game can have a solo mode. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I would imagine it's not super fun. Based on the kind of game it is, I'd be, maybe I should just try it out just to see like what a solo mode in like a social deduction kind of game would be. But yeah, it's got nice components. It's got these dice, the dice which you roll, which determine how many spaces a cart will move on the map, and you're trying to, again, escape the city. So you're moving, it's like, a very small map. So you're just starting out here where the carts are located and just going all the way to the gate to escape. So yeah, it's it's got nice components. So these dice will determine how many spaces each cart moves. And if you get a rat, you have to mingle, and mingling will mean that you have to pick up some more symptom cards. So you don't want rats, but you do have the opportunity on your turn to re-roll some dice. There are some special cards that, I don't remember what they're called, remedy cards, I think, that will allow you some special powers, like locking some dice if you want to screw someone over. So we did have a little bit of fun with that last night. So at the very last, just before the game ended, I ended up locking some dice after one of the players thought that, we saw the final roll and one cart was going to advance a lot, and he was pretty sure he was going to escape. So he hopped into a cart, and then it was my turn. And I what did I do? So I think no, I can't remember what happened first, but I ended up locking some dice, which screwed over another player, and he basically got left behind. And then the other player after me also ended up locking some dice to make sure that that player was just really screwed over. So that was kind of fun. So I do think it would be fun at a higher player count. Let me know if you've played this game or if you've played any of Facade's other games, Salem, Tortuga, or Deadwood. Yeah. So that was Bristol. So I'm actually going to take it to game night on Wednesday and hope that, you know, we have a higher player count so that we could try it again and see what it's like. Because the two friends I played with really want to play at a higher player count. So yeah, so that was another game I played recently. Let me just roll this up. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so the next game I will talk about is, let's talk about Marrakech, I guess. So Marrakech, I actually played a 2-player game of it on Board Game Arena. This is actually the second modern board game I ever purchased. So I bought this copy many years ago. I bought it in London when I first played this game. So the first modern board game I ever bought was Catan, and then the second one I ever bought was Marrakech. So Marrakech, let me pull up the information because I don't have it written down. So this is a 2007 game designed by Dominique Erhard, artists Jonathan Ocamte, Victor Bowden, Marie Cardoit, and Dominique Erhard. And the publisher is Gigamic? Is that how you pronounce it? Gigamic? I don't know how it's pronounced. Gigamic? Gigamic? Maybe Gigamic. I don't know. Anyway, so this is a game for 2 to 4 players. So I played a 2-player game of it on Board Game Arena. So basically, you are a carpet seller and you are trying to cover the board in as much of your carpet squares as possible. And you know, your opponent is trying to do the same. So there are 4 different colored carpets. And in a 2-player game, you are going to have 2 sets of carpets. And this guy will move around. You're going to roll a die, and that die will determine how many spaces Assam will move. And you can change his direction. So let's suppose he's facing this way. You can turn him this way, or he can just continue that way. And if you hit one of these blue things, you turn around. You may want to change his direction because if you land on someone else's rug, you will owe them money, and whoever has the most money points at the end of the game will win. So you will count up 1 point for each square of yours that is showing on the board, and then you will count up your money, and whoever has the most will win. So when when you roll and you move Assam, then you place a rug adjacent to him. And you cannot cover up someone else's rug entirely. So suppose someone has a rug like this on the board somewhere, you cannot cover it up entirely, but suppose they have 2 rugs like this next to each other, what you can do is cover up like that. But of course you have to be adjacent to Assam. So as a 2-player game, it's better to play on Board Game Arena because you have to shuffle the rugs, and so because you're responsible for 2 colors, and so which color rug you get on a turn to put down is supposed to be random, and that does matter because you want to create big clusters of certain colors on the board so that if your opponent lands on one of your colored rugs, they will owe you for a coin for each space of your color that is like in that big glob of that color. I think it's 1 coin. I know I had messed up this game for a very long time. I had been calculating the coins wrong somehow. There was like a rule, the way the rule was written about it, I think I just interpreted it in a different way. And so for 7 years or so, I was playing it incorrectly, apparently, when you calculate the coins. So, playing it on BG, Board Game Arena, was good because I didn't have to do that. I didn't mess up. So yeah, it says, let's see, if Assam ends his move on an opposing player's rug, the player must make a payment to the rug's owner. The amount owed is equal to the number of squares adjoining the square that Assam has landed on, which are covered by rugs of the same color. The player must pay the same amount as the number of squares covered. The size of the squares must be touching. It does not count if they only touch diagonally. I don't know how I messed that up, but there was something that I had messed up for a very long time when playing this game. I don't know. Because now that I'm reading it, I'm like, how did I mess up? That doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know. Okay, but yeah, you know, it's a simple game. It's fun. It's you know, if you like that kind of thing, it's like a kind of like a, you know, area majority game. So you're just trying to cover this board in as much of your rug color as possible. It's a very simple game. It's nothing like super, you know, extraordinary, but it's a good filler game, I would say. Yeah. So I played it with someone who had never played it before. So, you know, it was just a good way to pass some time while chatting, because I wanted to just be able to chat with this person. And so this was a good game to play because you're not like, you know, super involved. It's not like a super thinky, crunchy game. So yeah. And of course there's some luck involved when you roll this die. So yeah, so that is Marrakech. The next game I will talk about, let me just put this away. Let's see. What else did I play? Okay, I played, oh no, I did not grab my copy. I played Patchwork. So I played, you know, this on Board Game Arena as well. So I played the original one. The Halloween edition got removed from Board Game Arena. It was on Board Game Arena during Halloween, but then it seems like it's been removed. So Patchwork is a 2014 game for 2 players, designed by Uwe Rosenberg, and the artist is Clemens Franz, Rex Lee, Jolanta Lenjozek, and Gru So, and the publisher is Lookout Games. So we played the original version instead of the Halloween one, but as I have read many times now that the Halloween one has fixed some balancing issues in Patchwork. So yeah, so this was the first game of Patchwork that I won. I've played it a couple times and I've never won. I think I got like my best score yet in this game, so that was fun. So you know, I feel like it is luck dependent, you know, which pieces come out and, you know, the costs of them and stuff like that. So basically you're moving this guy along and this token along, and you're just picking up a piece of, you know, patchwork and putting it on your quilt. You're paying buttons, you know, some of these pieces cost buttons, and then you're advancing on this time track. You know, I don't have my board to show you guys. It's a fun, you know, thinky 2-player game. You know, a bit luck dependent. You know, I wouldn't say it's like the most amazing game ever, but yeah, I like it, I guess. You know, it's good for what it is. I do like the Halloween edition better just because, you know, the Halloween artwork. I'm not a fan of the original artwork. I think it's kind of ugly, but yeah. So yeah, I played Patchwork, so that was fun. It was fun that I won too, so that was nice. And then I've played, let me talk about Jaipur. So Jaipur is another 2-player game that I played recently, and this is designed by Sebastian Pochon, and let me see who does the artwork. And so yeah, it's a 2009 game. The artwork is done, oh, I didn't know Vincent Dutrait did the artwork. Vincent Dutrait and Alexander Roche, and the publisher is Space Cowboys. I feel like Space Cowboys does a lot of 2-player games. I don't know if they do any games that are not 2 players. So this is a 2009 game. You are basically, it's a card like drafting hand management game. So you're going to have some cards in your hand, and there's going to be some cards in the market, and you are trying to collect cards of a certain type in order to then sell them so that you can get tokens, which are worth points. So, you know, there's a bunch of goods, and each good will have like these tokens associated with them. And there are luxury goods, which are worth more points. And then there are common goods, which are worth less points. And then you also have some of these bonus tokens. So like if you end up selling, let me just show you the bonus tokens. So if you end up selling 3 cards at a time of a good, then you can take up one of these bonus tokens, which will have some number of points written on the back. So 3, 4, and 5. And the 5 ones, of course, are worth more points. So yeah, it's a random number on the back, so you don't know what you'll be getting if you pick up one of those bonus tokens. But you want to try and sell the luxury goods, of course, because those are worth the most number of points. So if you sell like 3 red cards at a time, you will take the 3 red tokens, which will be worth 7, 7, and 5 points. Once a good has, so once 3 piles of goods are depleted or you run out of cards to refresh the market, then the game end is triggered. This game is played in rounds. It's best of 3. So you are going to play 3 games of it. You know, if one person wins 1 round and then one other person wins the second round, then you'll play 3. Otherwise, you'll just play 2 rounds of it. So yeah, and there's camel cards. So you have camels as well, and if you decide to take camels from the center market, you must take all of the camels. And then having camels can be beneficial because it allows you to trade. So, you know, you can trade goods from your hand and camels from your hand for goods of a certain type from the row. However, you cannot trade a good, I don't know why anyone would want to do this. I don't even know why the rule book specifies it, but like suppose I have a green in my hand and a purple, I can't trade a green and a purple for like 2 greens. Like, I don't even know under what circumstances anyone would want to do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, and whoever has the most camels at the end of a round in their hand will get 5 bonus points. So yeah, so that's basically it. It's just a fun little 2-player game. Again, nothing super extraordinary. I like that each Space Cowboy game comes with one of these like metal tokens that is like specific to that game. So yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose, but they all come with that. Yeah, so if you like, you know, games like set in India, then sure, check it out. You know, it's pretty, I guess. But yeah, just a fun little 2-player filler game. I think this is a new edition. I think that there's an older edition with like different kinds of artwork on it, and this new edition also has like both the female and male on these tokens to determine who the winner is of a certain round. So yeah, so that was Jaipur. What else did I play? Let's see. The next game I played, which I will not pull out, is Catan. So as I mentioned, Catan was my gateway game into the world of board gaming, and I don't even know if I should talk about it. I feel like everyone knows what Catan is. So, you know, I've played it countless times. I'm always down to play Catan because, you know, it was my gateway game into the world of modern board gaming, and it's fun. It is very luck dependent. So I played a 3-player game of it with a 7-year-old and then a friend of mine who's like my age. So it was him and his son. So this is designed by Klaus Tuber, artist. I won't go through the artist because it seems like there's a ton. And God, publisher Cosmos plus 47 more. That's insane. So yeah, so this game came out in 1995. Wow. So yeah, you know, very much luck dependent. You know, I feel like my numbers just were not coming up. So, you know, and if people don't want to trade with you and your number is not being rolled, you kind of like, you know, are screwed really. But it's fun. I like it. I'm always down to play Catan. So yeah, the 7-year-old actually won. So good for him. So yeah, so that was Catan. So let me go into games that I am backing. So backing is still just Hike at the $1, €1 level. And nothing else. You know, let me know if you guys are backing anything. I don't really see anything that, you know, is of interest to me. Yeah, anything else at least. There was one game that was of interest to me, but it only was limited to 100 backers. Let me see if I have it pulled up still. Oh no, I don't. Oh, damn. It looked like an interesting game based out of like New Zealand or Australia or something like that. I don't remember the name of it. I think it had something to do with like the Easter Island statues or something like that. So yeah, not backing anything. Games that I'm culling, not culling anything. You know, I may end up adding caper. We'll see what happens. Games I have received. So let me just talk about some games that I have gotten recently. So I already showed you guys the Road to Canterbury. So 2 other games that I received from Eagle Griffin Games are Illumination. So I really wanted Illumination. Let me just check out that artwork. So this is designed by the same designer who designed the Road to Canterbury, Alf Siegert. So in this game, it's a 1 or 2 player game. You are like making manuscripts. So you're a game of mad medieval monks and you're creating illuminated manuscripts. Yeah. So you're just competing to become the new head of the scriptorium. So you're going to be laying down tiles and yeah, let me just show you some of the components. Yeah. So pretty artwork. Yeah, and then you have these boards. Yeah, so you have 3 of these, which I think are the manuscripts, and then you have like a bunch of different tiles with different things on them. I'll just show you a couple. You have like dark tiles and light tiles. Yeah, interesting little things on these tiles. Yeah, squirrel. Not all of them are like animals, I don't think. Maybe they are, I don't know. Yeah, oh, there are people as well, it looks like. There's like a guy with a shield here. Yeah. So yeah, so, and then it comes with some cards. I don't know how to play yet, so. But I was interested in getting this game just because, like I said, I'd never played any of this designer's games before, and it just looked interesting to me, so I thought I would check out some of his games. So yeah, so that is Illumination. So if you've played Illumination, let me know what you think, please. The next game I got from them is from Eagle Griffin is Francis Drake. So Francis Drake I've talked about before, I think, but I didn't have the game with me when I was talking about it. So let me just move these. So Francis Drake is big, so let me just, okay. So this is a really fun game. So this game is designed by, let me see who the designer is. Peter, is that Hawes? I think that's an H. Yeah. Let me see what year this came out in. I think it's a 2011 game. Let me just see. No. The reason I actually, 2013, the reason I actually ended up getting this was because I saw on Board Game Bliss that it was on, they had 1 copy left, and I was thinking of buying it, so I reached out to the publisher, Eagle Griffin Games, and I was like, oh, do you guys have any plans of, you know, deluxifying Francis Drake? Because if so, then I'm going to hold off on buying it. And then they were basically like, oh, if you want it, we can send you a review copy. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, so I don't actually need to buy it myself then. So yeah, so this is designed by Peter Hawes. So, you know, all that is to say that they are not coming out with a deluxified version of it anytime soon, which is what I've been told. But, you know, it's not off the table. The components in this are actually really nice already. The artist is Franz something and Wahinkel, and the publisher is Eagle Griffin Games and Kyle Games. So again, it's a 2013 game for 3 to 5 players. I was missing a cube in this one for the green color, so I actually swapped the green out with the purple that comes in the expansion. So they sent me the expansion box as well. So I actually swapped it out. So let me see. There's, you know, the board is humongous. So you are basically, I really like this game because it's really interesting. It's a lot of, oh, this board is gigantic. Let me see if I can show it to you. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's upside down. Damn it. Okay. Okay. So at the top of the board, you're going to see like a track, and you're going to be like advancing on the track. And it's like one of those things where if someone has taken all the spots in a certain location, then you can't go there. And different locations will allow you to do different things. There's like tiles you can place on top of it. So you're trying to like collect different goods. You may be trying to get like an extra ship thingy to use, or, you know, a special character. So you're basically trying to prepare your ship so then you can then go around on the map and try to collect different goods and engage in battles and stuff. There's, you know, there's an element of kind of deduction, I don't know if it's so much deduction, like you're trying to guess what other people are doing sometimes, because there's going to be certain things that are put down face down, and so, you know, things will be resolved in a certain order. So yeah, so like for example, the mechanics are push your luck, dice rolling, secret unit deployment, set collection, time track, and worker placement. So yeah, it's just a really interesting combination of all of those. It's been, you know, a while since I played it. I played it a couple of months ago, but when I played it, I absolutely loved it. And so I'm excited to have my own copy now. Let me just show you some of the components. But yeah, I just thought it was a really fun game, and I just could not believe that I had never heard of it before. So you are going to have your ship, which will be traveling around, and then one ship, which will be like up. I think the ship will, no, never mind. You can get an extra ship during one of your turns if you manage to. And then you have these tokens. So let me just show you the tokens. I don't remember exactly how like the extra ship thing works again, because it's been so long since I played it. But you are going to like secretly put down these tokens and then resolve them in different locations, if I remember correctly. So you have tokens numbered 1 through 4, and then you have these 2 other tokens, which I'm having a hard time remembering exactly how they were used. And so you are also trying to collect goods of different types. So there's different types of goods. There's like tobacco, and like it looks like sugar cane and coffee. So different locations will only have a certain number of goods on them. There are these like these things that you're also trying to collect that will be in certain locations. You'll have like your own little treasure chest to put things in. Yeah, it's a bit hard for me to remember exactly, you know, how it was played, but I remember it being super duper fun and wanting to play it again right away. I played a 4-player game of it. So yeah, so it's a really fun game. I highly recommend it. Oh, and it comes with these beer barrels. I think they're beer barrels, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so I mean, the components in this are already super duper nice. So I don't even know how they would deluxify it if they ever did decide to do that. So yeah. Like these ships are really nice. Yeah, they're like, I think they're rubber or plastic. I can't figure out what they are exactly. So yeah, and the insert is super great. Like I love when you have an insert where everything fits in so nicely. I absolutely love that. And it has all these tiles. Let me just show you some examples that will like go on the different locations. So I think, you know, maybe depending on player count, you might end up changing them up a bit. And then, yeah, I think you might be able to even change the, I don't know if you can change like the where each tile is located. I don't know if that's possible. Probably not, because it's actually printed on the board. So I'm guessing probably not, but I actually really don't know. So yeah, so this was one, the main board, and then there's this, which I don't remember what this was, to be honest. I don't know. I think maybe it's just to hold stuff. I don't know. And then each player has their own little player board where they are keeping track of their spices and stuff in your barrels and things like that. Yeah, I guess that's it. So that was Francis Drake, and I got the expansion. I haven't played with any of the expansions. I've only played it once, but I think there's an expansion called Spain's Revenge and Montezuma's Legacy. So I think this includes 2 expansions. So yeah, that would be cool to check out. I think I would like to do that. So yeah, if you've never played this game, I highly recommend it. Francis Drake. So I hope I will get to play it again soon so that I can really remember exactly how it plays and tell you more about it. So another game I received is one that I bought used from BGG Market. It's called A Pleasant Journey to Neko. So this is designed by City Low, and the publisher is the Wood Games. Let me just Journey. So this came out in 2018 on Kickstarter, I believe. It's for 2 to 4 players. Oh, and the artist is also City Low. Interesting. Okay, so in this game you are penguin watchers. So I guess you want to watch the most penguins or something like that. So it's like a network and route building game. It says that there's auction and bidding and dice rolling. So I bought a used copy, so some of the anchors broke in transit, I guess. But you know, I don't know where it was. Oh yeah, I was just browsing around on Board Game Bliss, and I came across this game on Board Game Bliss, and I was like, that looks really interesting. I'd never heard of it before. So then I looked it up on BGG Market, and that's when I saw that someone had a copy for sale. So I decided to get it. I read that it's a super crunchy game, actually. So yeah, so you are penguin watching, and it comes with little penguin and fish meeples. But let me just show you some of the artwork, because the artwork is pretty. So yeah, I'm not sure that this is a game that many people will know about, because like I said, I had no clue about this game until I just came across it on Board Game Bliss and was like, I don't know what this is, but I want it. So yeah, I mean, the artwork and the theme just really appealed to me. It's I think it's got a good rating too. Yeah, it's rated 7.2. Yeah, so it looks like you're planning your ship routes and trying to spot the most penguins in the Antarctic. So yeah, so I think it'll be a fun game. Oh, let me show you the main board. So I keep on forgetting that there's a main board because the back of it looks like it's just like some kind of cushion for the bottom of the box. Like this is the back of it, so it just, yeah. So yeah, so this is the main board. So again, I don't know exactly how to play yet, but I'm hoping to play it soon. And I saw that someone had come up with their own kind of solo mode for this, so maybe I can try it solo. We'll see. Yeah, and it comes with different players. So here are like some fishies and a penguin. Yeah. Oh, here's the penguin is more visible here. There's the penguin and all the fishies. Yeah, the coins feel really nice in this, by the way. I don't know if they're cardboard. I was trying to figure out if these are cardboard or not, but they feel really nice. I like the feel of these coins. But yeah, nice, really nice artwork. I saw when I was Googling this game that he came out with a card game version of this that I guess was on Kickstarter maybe a year or two ago, I guess, and it's just been recently getting delivered to its backers, I noticed. So yeah, so you can check it out if you're interested. It's called A Pleasant Journey to Neko. So let me know if you have this game, if you've ever heard of it, and if so, what you think of it. But yeah, I don't think I had any games that were related specifically to penguins. I have New York Zoo, which has penguins in it, but I don't think I had any games just about penguins. So I'm excited to play this. I don't have it to show you guys, but I reached out to, because the designer, Steve Aramini, he had posted in a Facebook group that he's looking for playtesters of his new one-player flip and write game called Flip Town, and it looked really cool. It's got a cool Western theme to it. So I reached out to him to see if I could, play test it out. And so he sent me the file for it. So maybe in the next video I can show you, because I actually, like a crazy person, went to Kinko's, not Kinko's, why do I always call it Kinko's? That doesn't exist anymore. FedEx. I went to FedEx and I asked them to print it out on the big 11 by 17 sheet, because he had given several files, and one of them was to have the whole board on an 11 by 17 sheet, and then I got it laminated. So I'm going to be going and picking it up later today. I decided to go ahead and do that so that I could play it multiple times with dry erase markers. So yeah, so I know that's a bit crazy to do for some game that I'm just playtesting, but yeah. So maybe in the next video I can show you guys that and talk about my experience in playing it. So I think that's it. I don't think there was no questions from what I could see. Oh, one more game that arrived. Let me just show you this one. It's called The Fog Escape from Paradise. And this is a game I'm covering for its Kickstarter launch. It's coming to Kickstarter, I believe, in March. And it's designed by Robert Mueller-Rainwarth, and the publisher is Zalex Games. And I believe it's 2 to 4 players, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly. This is a prototype, of course. Oh no, sorry, 1 to 4 players. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying that out as well. So those were my arrivals. There are no questions. I'm not calling anything, so I guess that's it. I'm wondering if there's a question I should leave you guys with, but I can't think of one right now. So yeah, so let me know if you've played any of these games. Sorry for just babbling on and on. Yeah. Let me know if you've played any of them, and let me know, which games you've been enjoying lately. So until next time, guys, God, I feel like I'm just not talking properly today. Until next time, guys, bye.